I still remember the exact message that made me do it. It was 11:47 p.m. My room was dark except for the soft glow from my phone, and I had just picked it up to quickly check one thing before sleeping. Just one thing. That was the plan. Then a message came in. Not unusual, but it was from someone I knew would expect a reply. Not just eventually, but soon. I stared at the notification for a few seconds before opening it. And the moment I did, I felt it. That quiet pressure. That invisible timer starting. They had sent a long message. Not angry, not urgent, just long. The kind that requires you to sit up, think, and respond properly. Not a LOL or okay type of reply. A real one. And I remember thinking, why did I open this? Because now they knew. Those two tiny blue ticks had just told them she's seen it. And suddenly, lying in bed, tired, half asleep, I felt like I owed them something immediately, like I had to show up fully right now, even though I didn't have the energy for it. So I started typing, deleted it, typed again, paused, reread their message, sighed, put my phone down, picked it back up. And the whole time, there was this low-level anxiety sitting in my chest, not because of what they said, but because of what was expected of me. That's when it hit me. This isn't about the message. It's about the pressure of being seen. So I did something I had never really thought deeply about before. I went into my settings, scrolled, found it, read receipts, and I turned it off. Just like that. No announcement, no warning to anyone, no dramatic speech in my head, just off. I put my phone down, turned to the side, and went to sleep. I didn't even realize I had just shifted something important. The next morning felt normal at first. Same routine, same phone, same notifications. But when I opened my messages, something was different. And it took me a second to understand what. I opened that same conversation from the night before, read it again, slowly this time. And for the first time, there was no pressure sitting behind it. No, they know you're here. No urgency, just me and the message. I read it, locked my phone, and went to brush my teeth. And halfway through, I actually paused because I realized I didn't feel rushed. That might sound small, but for me, it wasn't. Because I had gotten so used to responding immediately after opening something that I didn't even realize I was doing it. It had become automatic. You reply, even if you're tired, even if you're distracted, even if you don't fully mean what you're typing. Around that moment, maybe 3 minutes into standing there that morning, it hit me in a way that honestly made me uncomfortable. I had been having entire conversations, half present. There were people I cared about, conversations that mattered, and I had been responding to them like I was checking off a task, not because I didn't care, but because I felt watched, because I felt like once I opened something, I had to perform. And that realization stayed with me the entire day. I started noticing things I had never paid attention to before, like how often I opened messages out of curiosity, not readiness. How many times I interrupted what I was doing just to reply quickly. How often my responses were rushed, not thoughtful. And the worst part? I thought I was being a good communicator, but I wasn't. I was just being fast, and fast is not the same thing as present. That day, I decided to experiment with something. Whenever I opened a message, I would ask myself one simple question. Do I actually have the energy to respond properly right now? If the answer was no, I closed the app. That's it. No guilt, no overthinking, just later. And because my read receipts were off, there was no pressure attached to that decision. Nobody knew I had seen it. Nobody was waiting, watching the clock. It gave me space, real space. Later that afternoon, I tested this in a situation that would have normally stressed me out. Another message came in, long again, the kind that usually pulls you in immediately. I opened it, read it, locked my phone, and went back to what I was doing. My heart actually raced a little because it felt wrong, like I was breaking an unspoken rule, but nothing happened. The world didn't end. They didn't double text. They didn't call. They didn't get upset. Hours later, when I actually had the mental space, I went back, read it again, and responded properly, calmly, clearly, honestly. And the reply I got? Thank you for taking the time to explain that. That was it. No complaint about the delay, no tension, just appreciation. And that moment shifted something deeper for me. Wait, I haven't told you the most important part yet, because this wasn't really about messages. It was about something I hadn't realized I had slowly given away over time. Control. Not in a dramatic, controlling everything kind of way, but in the quiet, everyday moments. The way I let notifications interrupt my thoughts. The way I let other people's timing override mine. The way I felt obligated to respond instantly just because I was available. Turning off read receipts didn't just remove pressure from conversations. It forced me to face how often I was abandoning my own pace. And once I saw that, I couldn't ignore it. I started changing other small things too. I stopped replying to messages while doing something else important. I stopped opening conversations I knew I didn't have the energy for. I stopped apologizing for taking time to respond, and slowly something unexpected happened. My conversations became better. Not more frequent, not faster, but better. I listened more. I thought before I spoke. I said what I actually meant instead of what felt convenient in the moment. And people noticed, not in a dramatic way, but in small comments. You always explain things so clearly. I like talking to you. You really take your time. And I remember thinking, I didn't change who I was. I just stopped rushing her. That's the part nobody really talks about. We're not always overwhelmed because we have too much to do. Sometimes we're overwhelmed because we're constantly being pulled out of our own rhythm. Every notification, every message, every scene, it adds up. And we adjust ourselves without even realizing it. That night at 11:47 p.m., I thought I was just avoiding one stressful reply. But what I actually did was take a small piece of my time back. And it taught me something I didn't expect. You don't have to be instantly available to be a good friend. You don't have to reply immediately to be kind. You don't have to sacrifice your pace to stay connected. Because real connection doesn't disappear just because you took a few hours. If anything, it becomes stronger when you show up fully, not rushed, not distracted, not pressured, just present. And maybe this sounds like something small. It is small, but sometimes the smallest decisions reveal the biggest truths. Like realizing you've been living slightly out of sync with yourself. And all it takes is one quiet change to notice it. So if you've ever felt that pressure, the moment you open a message and suddenly feel like you owe someone an immediate response, you're not alone. And maybe, just maybe, you don't have to carry that anymore. Maybe your pace is allowed to be yours again. Before we end, I want to hear from you. Have you ever noticed something small, something almost insignificant, that completely changed how you felt day to day? Or is there something right now that quietly drains you, that you've been thinking about changing? Share it in the comments. Because sometimes hearing someone else say, I felt that too, makes all the difference. And if you enjoy these kinds of real, honest stories, the ones that don't shout but stay with you, go ahead and subscribe to GistOver Cooking. There's always something meaningful waiting for you here.